Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here on a Saturday morning. We're really excited that you've joined us for this module on philosophy of education. So you may have noticed when you signed in, we had a slide up talking about some things you could possibly work on while you're waiting. This would just be an example of a bell work, and we'll be talking more about that in another module, but things that we can have posted for students to work on while other students are coming in instead of having them just sit and wait. So trying to use every opportunity for learning or practicing various skills. Before we start, I know we have this first bullet here or first point about completing the posted portfolio assignment in Google Classroom. So does anybody have any questions on that, first of all, or anything you needed clarification on? So that is going to be kind of like your cover sheet for when they actually call for the portfolio. So we'll be definitely needing that. But it was also very important that you review the rubric and then sign the course agreements.
I had a hard time getting my, excuse me, I'm sorry. I had a hard time getting my signature in there.
Oh, okay. It's okay to type it in. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it does get a little tricky when you try to draw the names. It just doesn't come out the right way.
I have my signature in a document that I saved for that purpose, but it wouldn't transfer in there.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly okay to just type it in. That's fine. That's a really good question. Thank you, Julia. Okay, anybody else before we go on? And if you have it at the end or other thoughts, you're welcome to just chat or even just ask it later. Okay, the next thing we have is make sure.
Can we just pull that up? Because I know as I've been looking through, there's a couple people who need help, but at the very end.
Okay, sure. You can remind me too, Shannon. The second thing we had was to make sure your philosophy of education document is shareable. I know earlier in our first session, we suggested maybe doing it in Google Docs because it's probably the easiest way to share it. But if you can make sure that's available, we'll be partnering you up shortly, and then you'll know specifically who you'll need to share the document with. So if you've already put it in the Google Classroom, you can take it out just so that you'll have access to it and they'll be able to review the document. Okay, John, you can go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so we like to kind of start the morning with a quick icebreaker activities. And the icebreaker activity we have is called 5 Tribals. Now, I'm not sure if anybody uses tribes in their classroom or school. And tribes is kind of a way that students can get along with each other. For example, one of the rules they have is mutual respect. Another one they have is attentive listening. Another rule they have is a right to pass. So with that tribes, there comes many different activities that a teacher could implement to help build that classroom community. So one of them I'd like to do with you today is called 5 Tribals. And because the last time I know John shared the Jamboard, we sometimes like to provide you another opportunity to use it just in case you haven't used it before. So can everybody access the slides? Or can you see the slides? Okay, if not, Christy's posting the Jamboard link into the chat box. If you would click on that, we have 5 different tribals here, and we'd like you to respond just by posting your name as to which tribal best represents you today, right now. So if you could take a little bit of time for that, and then we'll talk about it in a little bit. So getting ready to have be able to share why you're feeling that way.
Does anybody have a suggestion on how to make those links bigger? I can barely read them with my 300 glasses on.
Oh, the link in the chat? Is
Yeah,
that what you're looking
the
at?
chat itself.
Oh, yeah.
There.
I don't know if you can. You can just click on it though. If you click it, it'll take you right to that site.
There's like 10 links there in blue, and I can't read what they say.
Christy, was it the last one you posted up there? The most recent?
Okay.
Some of the ones before that is the attendance link.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
post
they
it.
are very small. Okay, thank you, Christy. Okay, give you a few more seconds to finish if you haven't yet. Okay. As I look, oh, sorry. Let me end. Okay, as I look at the Jamboard, I see there's a lot of people right in the middle of all the 5 tribals. I see some people closer to the left side and a few people closer to the right. I'm not going to call on everyone, but I'm going to ask if a few of you would like to volunteer. Maybe someone from this 4th tribal, Justin, Julia, Jeff, John. Would you like to share why you're feeling like that 4th tribal? Oh, you moved up, Julia. Okay, would either of you like to share why you're feeling that way?
I'm really happy to excited to learn some more. That's what, and especially with other people that have a lot to contribute to this subject.
Oh, awesome. So this is Julia, right?
Yes.
Speaking right now. Okay, great. Okay, anybody else from that group? I see some people are also right on the border. Maybe Catherine or Sarah, how about you? Would you like to share why you feel you're right in the middle of 3 and 4?
This is Sarah. Can you hear me? My microphone is
Yes.
weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I put mine in the middle because just before I sat down, I kicked our stationary bike, and
Oh,
so I was feeling really good, and then I was like, oh, and it's already my fractured toe, so I'm like, oh no.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
But it's a
That
minor
does seem
thing,
to happen.
so still good.
Yeah, that happens though. Yeah, the one that you're trying to be the most careful with always ends up being the one that ends up getting hurt more. How about a couple people from the middle? We have Brandy, Scott, Amelia, Courtney, Tiffany, or Beth. A couple of you would like to share why you feel right in the middle right now. And you can kind of say who you are first, because sometimes it's hard to see who.
This is Tiffany. I'm in the middle because I'm very grateful that it's Saturday, and unfortunately, my body doesn't understand that I get to sleep in. So I woke up at 5. So I've been up for a while. So I'm grateful that I didn't have to get up, but my body doesn't always cooperate, and it's just like time to get up. So I've been up for a while. I'm almost ready for a nap.
I hear you. I know. You're just so excited for weekends. And yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to get up that early. Thank you, Tiffany.
All right.
Maybe one other person from that middle group?
I'll go. Yeah, this is Beth. Hello. Oh.
Yes, we can hear you. Who are you?
Okay,
Sorry.
good. It's Beth. I guess I just looked at the middle as kind of being mellow. I just feel mellow right now.
Good.
It's kind of rainy outside, drinking coffee.
I know.
So yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much. And how about Kylie, Matt, or Evan on that second tribble? One of you can share why you feel that way.
Hi, this is Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not like I'm mad or anything. It's just I just feel like this is a new, I guess, routine for me. Usually I'm sleeping or taking another nap by now, and so just getting used to this new transition, I guess. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll go ahead if we can we'll get back to our slides then, our presentation. But thank you all for sharing and for participating in this activity. What it kind of does as a teacher for me when I do this with my students is I kind of get a feel of how people are feeling that day. Like if there's a lot of maybe people who are feeling at 1 or 2, one of my students, and I might really stop and take a moment to think, what's going on? Is there something I can do? Did something happen that I need to really be cognizant about during my teaching? But it really gives me a sense of, especially if I do it on Monday, like what happened over the weekend and how they're really feeling. All right, so let me just quickly get back. So today we're really here to talk about our philosophy of education. Now, I'm not going to go over the first 2 slides, only because this is what we talked about during our overview about what your philosophy is. So John, if you could go one more slide, and yes, thank you. So what you're going to be doing today is you're going to be partnered off with somebody else in today's session. And I know we've been getting a lot of emails about whether we should, maybe someone couldn't make it or someone's here and they weren't sure what to do with the document. So I apologize for not having clearer, I guess, directions or instructions about what to do. But what you'll do is we'll partner you off with someone that is here today. Those who were not able to make it, we're going to partner them off with other people who didn't make it. So because you're here, we're going to give you an opportunity to dialogue with another person that's present today also. So in a little bit, we'll be putting up some Google breakout rooms. And when we post those, you'll see that you'll have one other person. We're going to try to pair you off with someone in your like grade level or range. For example, if you're elementary, we'll try to pair you off with elementary. If you're a certain subject teacher, we may do our best to try to partner you up that way. We can't guarantee it's always going to work, but we'll just do our best to try that for today. What you're going to do is when you get your partner, you'll go to the breakout room, and then you will be sharing your document with your partner. So your partner is going to review your philosophy, and they're going to write at least 3 comments on your document. So you know how you can add comments right on it by clicking on that speech bubble. If you're not sure, we can kind of help you out with that. But we're going to give you some sample sentence starters, which is found right on the slide. And the reason why we're wanting you to start that way is because you're going to see later that you'll need the information from your peers when you revisit your philosophy of education towards the end of the class. So it's really important that we take some time to thoughtfully respond to what our colleague has written in their philosophy. It's not a time to debate their philosophy or anything, but really think about, what did you find interesting? Was there something that you both thought similar about when you did your own philosophy? I'm not going to read you each of the bullets, but those are things that you could possibly start with that might help you guide your thinking. You want to, it doesn't have to be like a 1-page response or anything, but if you could make a note and respond to that prompt, and then after you're done with your at least 3 comments, you'll have a chance to talk with your colleague about why you responded a certain way. And while they're responding, you might want to take notes because those feedback might help you when you're crafting your revision. So before we go into assigning the breakouts. Do you have any questions or things that are going through your mind that you need clarification about?
Oh, I guess I'm going to be the one that always asks the questions. Julia.
It's perfectly
do,
okay, Julia. Go ahead.
do we put our comments on our philosophy of education document? Is that part
Yes,
of
it'll
it?
be typed. Yeah, so when you have your document, if you just click on that speech thing and it'll add a comment, it'll be directly right. Well, it'll kind of like be to the side, right? But it'll be linked to that particular area that you're commenting on. So yes, the comments should be right on there. And it would be most helpful, especially at the end when you're going back to revisit those comments. So yes,
And we
please do
leave-
it right on.
Excuse me. And we leave it on there before we turn it in?
Oh, you can leave it there because if it is called, we'll just take them out probably. Yeah. So don't even worry if it's on there or not. I mean, if it's on there, it's okay. Yes.
Should I have turned the
Because-
document in first before we do this, or wait till after?
It'll be actually something you're going to turn in later towards the end of the class.
Okay,
We'll go over some assignment deadlines in a bit, but what you'll notice, or actually if you look on the Google assignment for that philosophy, this was the first quote deadline we had, or due date, because we wanted you to have the document, especially if you're coming to class. The second due date is, I'll go over it again, but then you'll see that there are maybe 3 or 2 other due dates that we're going to have for this particular assignment.
Okay, thank you.
So it wouldn't be turned in completely to us until towards the end of the class. So maybe what we can do is, John, maybe it might be a little bit more helpful for us to jump to that portfolio requirement piece so they can see how this all ties together. So you can kind of skip that for now and go to the portfolio. One more. And okay, so if you look back at your portfolio assignment piece, the activity sheet that comes with this module, you'll notice, John, can you flip back one slide, please? You'll notice that the top part talks about you writing up your philosophy. Okay, next slide, John. And the next part of this has 3 parts. So one is the philosophy you wrote today will be linked right in this part 1 section. In part 2, you're actually gonna write right in this document and reflect on 2 of the comments that was received from your peer. So it's something you could actually do right after the class is done today so that it's still fresh in your mind. But you're going to think about whether you agree or disagree with the comment that was written. And you want to make sure you explain why. In part 3, you'll notice that at the end of the course or towards the end of the course, and even while you're going through it, you're going to be reflecting back and making revisions on your philosophy. So that's the reason why we're going to say don't turn it in until later in the course, because you will need it throughout the course as you think about your philosophy and at the very end, make any revisions to it. So hopefully that brought a little bit more clarity. So it will not be something you turn in right now.
I have a question. This is Tiffany. Are those
Sure, Tiffany.
are those 3 different documents? So the original document that we have today, and then the reflection is another document, and the revision is a 3rd document?
Oh, that's a really good question. So in part 1, you're going to actually just link your philosophy that you wrote today, right in that part 1. And then in part 2, you're actually going to type right on this document and answer that prompt about reflecting on the 2 comments. And then part 3 would be another part just typed right into the document. And then if you made changes, you can just link the new changes that were made. But yes, everything would be right here in one place that you would be giving your responses. Does that help to clarify it, Tiffany?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Love your questions. Please feel free to ask because we want to make it as clear as possible so that when you do work on it, it'll be a little bit less frustrating, hopefully. Okay, so John, can we back up to the prompts again, the 4 sentence starter slide? All right, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to pause. Shannon's been busily trying to partner people up and getting them ready for breakout rooms. So Shannon, do you want to tell them a little bit about how that works? Because we're probably going to be giving you about 15 to 20 minutes for you to complete this part. I know that people's philosophy may look different. Some may be a little bit longer, some may not, but we want to give you time to be able to reflect on it, write your comments, have a conversation. So we might be popping in and out of your rooms just to kind of hear. So well, I hope it doesn't really become anything that distracts you too much, but we just kind of want to pop in just to hear the conversation. So Shannon, if you don't mind.
Yes. Just really quickly, somebody asked about comments on the document itself. Those are actually a really good thing because we can attach those in with the portfolios, and that shows to PDE3 that true reflection and collaboration has taken place. So those are really good things. So please make the comments directly on there. It's good for the portfolio, and it's also good for you just to have them in one quick access spot. Some of you guys also typed your portfolio, your philosophy of education, I think in the upper part of your activity, which is fine. We'll just go ahead and copy it down at a later date. So the way the classroom or the way the breakout rooms are going to work, I'm going to hit the open room button, and you will see a pop-up on your screen that says you've been invited to join. So I'm going to click it, and you'll see it in a second. Don't join yet. You'll see the sign that says you've been invited to join. We should be able to see it popping up on John's.
I can see it on mine.
You can see it on yours. Okay, great. So you'll just go click that invite, and then the four of us have been assigned to a room. And if we're not in your room yet, we'll be rotating in and out. And don't mind us. If you have questions, you can feel free at the top once you're in a breakout room. It will say ask a question. And once you put your hand up to ask that question, it'll signal to me, and I'll come over and see if I can support you guys in any way. Any questions on the breakout rooms? Okay.
Shannon, 1 second. Can I just interject really quick?
Yes.
Is everyone comfortable with adding comments or understand that feature of adding comments to the document? If you need supports, you could ask your colleague or even just stay back and ask us. We don't want it to be like too cumbersome where you're having notes all over the place, but there is a feature when you use the docs, you can just add a comment to it and it'll get posted off toward the side, but it'll be still linked to that area that you're commenting on. Okay, was there someone question? No? Okay. Good. And then if you still aren't sure, we can, when we pop in, you can feel free to ask us.
And then breakout rooms will be closed when Jackie gives me the signal, and you'll just see a signal that says return to the main room, and you can go ahead and return. Or you'll just have to click return to the main room once you see your sign saying breakout sessions will be ending.
So roughly 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you, Shannon.
No problem.
Oh, wow. Success, Shannon. Good job.
We shall see. I think I got everybody.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It was just, yeah.
Are we going to give them a few minutes to just kind of?
Yeah. Yes, I think we should.
The attendance thing got a little, this is being recorded, so I should put us in our own breakout room.
I just wanted to make sure I was going to give them a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Did we lose Christy?
No,
she might have entered
the breakout room.
She did already. Okay.
I'm gonna hop into my breakout real quick.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hop in another room just to make sure we're able to share.
Yes, got it. Me too. Thank you. Shannon, do you have a timer there? You can set for the maybe 20 minutes.
I'm gonna rotate you guys in 5 minutes though.
Okay, perfect. No, that's fine. That'll work because then I know when we're done with the third one, we're just about done.
And I have I'm also in another breakout room right now, so I can monitor that like for a lull.
Thank you.
Breakout room. Okay, I got a message from that breakout rooms had ended, and I couldn't do anything. And Amelia and I couldn't do anything except for return.
Oh yeah.
Let me see if I can. Let me contact.
My gosh, I'm so sorry.
So my internet is glitchy, so it was, my document went to Google Classroom. I have to unsubmit slow, waiting and waiting and waiting to change the.
Well, that's actually perfect because you two can have your conversation right here. And it's part of the recorded, so it'll be like part of the documented process.
Sure.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened because everybody else's sessions are still going on. I see John
Yeah.
came back here, but I don't know.
Yeah, like, and I see there's a banner on the top that says breakout rooms in session. Yeah, ours got closed.
Oh, that's weird.
Back to this meeting because we were trying to, we couldn't share anymore because we have to come back to this meeting, to the main room. Okay, so we need.
Yeah, so keep sharing. It's fine. You guys got lots of time left.
Keep doing what you need to do. Yeah.
Okay. Amelia, I put my link in the chat for my document.
Okay, I'm gonna do it now. Is my link there?
Yep, I see it. Okay. Amelia, you have to give me editing rights so I can make comments. So I'll send you a request.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna do it. I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's cool. The famous one.
All right, folks. I just want to let you know I'm in the main room. I don't want you. I'm just going back and forth between rooms. So you keep doing your business, but if you see me, it's just trying to honor every kind of own time. So if you need me, we're out.
So that we need to comment, or we can share ideas, or what? Or we need to comment right now. We need to do the comments right now.
Yep,
Oh.
comment, and then we can share ideas as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Famous people.
I just put the comments in the chat if you need them. The sentence starters.
Oh, I think I have it. I don't know where do I have it, but I have it. Hmm. Oh yeah. You too has to give me the rice. I can edit yours.
What was that? Oh, okay. Is it not able
I'm trying
to?
to get on. No.
Anyone that can view. Oh, let me change. Yep.
I said was the same like I received with.
Yep. Done. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Refresh it. Yeah, it defaults to viewing. I didn't even think of that.
That's cool, that you can you teaching English, you write, so you have the also your own way to put your ideas, but in a different way, when you have the English, your language, any language, as a your native language, your ideas, they come so easy.
I was like, wow, she's got a really nice writing style. I was just thinking that on yours. Because that's, one of the things that I often.
No, but it's like you have you put your ideas. It's like it's nice to read because your own experiences. So yeah, I'm trying to say, yeah, I think how I make a parallel with what I say. With the famous teacher, we try to help the students to make them famous. Oops.
Okay, cool. No, Amelia, a lot of what you said, I really connected to, especially one of your last lines, where it was, believe it is true about education that we need to believe in ourselves as teachers and be able to inoculate in our students to think creatively, to be strong, to be fearless, and to stay balanced and to know how not to give up. I think that's kind of one of the things that I thought too, is just to dare our kids to try. a lot of times our students are so scared of failing that they won't even try.
Did you finish, Scott? Sorry, I jumped out of the.
Okay.
Justin, did you folks get kicked out of your room, or did you return back to the main room?
Oh, it said return back to meeting room,
Okay.
so I clicked on it.
Okay.
Were you not supposed to do that?
No, you're fine. I think we're going to try to give people a few more minutes. Just trying to work that out right now. Right now.
Okay. Well, I think, did you finish, Scott? I finished the.
Yeah, sorry, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm going to pop out a second.
Okay, hold on. Was it supposed to be suggestions on this comments?
So if you want to, you can use the sentence starters that Jackie had shared. I actually posted them in. If you want to use those as a way to giving feedback and just kind of supporting each other, because as Jackie mentioned, you're going to be revisiting it throughout, and one of the portfolio requirements is that peer-to-peer feedback. So this is just a great way to demonstrate that you folks had an opportunity to meet up with your fellow educator and change something.
What if I said I agreed with a lot of his philosophy?
You can say you agree with a lot of it, and then just be like, something Sarah did that was really specific was like, she was like, I really connected to, and she went through and actually made the statement. So if you want to give that more explicit feedback, like, I agree with Scott specifically when he said da 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 da.
Okay, perfect.
So that's what we're doing, our reflection.
Yeah, you'll use that some of that feedback as you continue to revisit your philosophy. That's why there's kind of like those 3 steps. So your initial philosophy, kind of feedback you got, and then the third one will be that kind of the culminating piece of where you started, where you ended up with your peer-to-peer, and then kind of where you're at the end of the session.
Okay. Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. Mm.
I'm muted. Sorry. Just to give you folks a heads up. A few rooms had a little bit of trouble kind of starting and sharing documents, so we're going to try to honor that. And I think we're going to come back to the main room about 9:55. If you've completed the task and you feel that you've met kind of the expectation for right now, please feel free to kind of like take a break, and just know that everybody else will be coming back about the 9:55 time. Okay? And then I'll be here if you need anything, but I'm going to kind of put my mic on and I'll remove myself, but then just shout out if you need anything. I want to make sure you folks are having the conversation. Does that work for everybody? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so Sarah. Sarah, are you here? Where is Sarah? Sorry.
I think she stepped away for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Yeah. So I like how to use, this famous comparison. Yeah, because what we are doing, the kids, we are helping to become somebody. Yes.
Yeah.
And we need to, to let, they need to believe in them, to say, some kids are so shy sometimes, say, I'm teaching Spanish, another language. Some kids is really difficult. I always, try to explain to them that everything is difficult, but they need to try. They need to try.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but that's true. So maybe it's not famous, but they're gonna get something from education. Also, you're mentioning a lot. So you're sharing with your kids that education is something that we really value. Everybody needs to have here in this world. To in order to get something is no to
Yeah.
get but to live your life and get something like you alone, because happiness is everything together. I don't know, when you get, I always talking about, because I'm coming from another country, so I see the things very differently. So and I'm always saying, okay, I push them. So how come it's difficult? And why is, you're living in this country that is so, you have so many opportunities. So you need to use them. You need to only try a little bit. And you're gonna, you don't need to be millionaire. You don't need to be, but you need at least to get something from education and be happy after,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And I think for, because I read your comment on my document, is because you come from a different country, where things are different. And,
Yeah.
I really, that made me think of like, oh man, our kids are, they're
It's
not
like
prepared for that.
it's a little bit spoiled. They are spoiled. I say they don't recognize what is
Some
spoiled.
days.
You see, you're a little bit spoiled. So you come to and they say, oh, and sometimes they ask me, oh, do you have this and do you have that? And they so where is this? So in another countries, the teachers is like you cannot come and ask for this and this, paper and pencils and markers. No, everybody brings whatever. Teachers are also poor, so they cannot find everything for you. But they get upset sometimes. So we cannot. Oh, why
Yeah.
the school? Oh, the bathroom doesn't have paper. Oh, you're lucky that you're lucky that the school is providing you with everything.
Yeah, and I remember conversations previously where we would talk about us like, do you know, like, this is such a value to have education that some kids walk miles and miles and miles a day just to go and sit in school, and then they go walk miles and miles a day home and do all these really intense chores. And because I've worked in, I feel like I've been fortunate enough to make life choices where I get to see those kinds of communities. And I'm like, guys, you got it. You got it in front of you. Some kids don't even get this, and they would kill for your opportunities.
Yeah, that's exactly so, because you have those kind of experiences, you understand more. You can open their eyes what is happening around them. Because they feel like sometimes no, it's too much.
Yeah.
They have a lot. Only they need to use, to be a little bit,
Yeah, no,
engaged.
Well, no, you folks can keep going. You're having great conversation. I'm sure other people join in. Absolutely. Don't be shy. Keep going.
That is our room, because we
Yeah, the two one of the rooms got booted, so they were in the main room. So I got to hear some amazing conversation as I was kind of eavesdropping, but trying not to be a creeper. But yeah, no, some really awesome conversation. So I'm gonna share some of it out in a bit. Just waiting for a few more people.
Hey, Tiffany, I know you were asking about the portfolio, how to sign it. Since we're kind of waiting, if you go into your module, if you go all the way to the top of the classroom,
To module 1?
so it's not even in module 1, it's way at the top. It's not in any topics. It just says portfolio.
Okay, hold on.
So once you're in classwork, it's all the way at the top. It says portfolio.
Okay.
Yep, just click on that and then real simple. You just have to put your name, email.
Name, DOE, email, and school. And then turn that in?
And then you have to sign on the bottom. Yeah, there's a, scroll down a little bit. On the 3rd page, just double click on the signature and then it'll give you a drawing. So
I
just,
see.
Just
Got
draw
it.
your name and date it, and then you're good. Then you can submit it.
Welcome back, everybody. Still waiting for about one more group just to kind of finish up. Oh, you're back.
We're back. I think Courtney was coming on back, but we can go ahead and just kind of do a closing then. So I want to thank everybody for your conversations. I was pretty much in one room. We were trying to troubleshoot several different things, but I think some of the trainers wanted to share back with you some of the things we heard or discussions, conversations that were going on. So John, do you want to start off first and kind of give a cap? Go ahead.
Absolutely. So I was lucky enough to be able to join Breakout 5. That was Matthew's group, and I was also kind of in the main room. Sarah's group kind of got kicked out. So just some commonalities I heard, which were just really amazing to hear. I know Matthew's group, they were talking about how they had a lot of similarities. And I'm sorry, can someone remind me who was the other educator with Matthew?
Randy.
Oh, Randy, that's right. Thank you so much. So Matthew and Randy were really talking about how they had a lot of commonalities in their kind of philosophies. And one of the things was the productive struggle and kind of really helping students, that concept of trying, but working through things. And that was kind of just a note that I made. But also, it also came up in the main room with Sarah and Emily. That kind of kids need to try, and we need to kind of give them different perspectives on kind of where they are with their education and how that concept of trying is really, really important. And the other thing that something Sarah did that I was really impressed with was she gave very explicit feedback when she was talking about her colleagues' philosophy. So she said, I really connected to and like went verbatim what was actually written in the philosophy. So just that great practice of you can take that and you know how to grow from that. So just some really great conversation. So thank you folks for letting me kind of eavesdrop and pop in now. I appreciate that. And I learned a lot myself, so thank you.
Christy, did you have any feedback you wanted to share? Things you heard?
I mostly was listening to Evan and Tiffany, and their conversations. It was just so refreshing because Evan is at the beginning of his teaching career, and Tiffany is a little bit more. Let's see. We laugh, but yeah, she's been in it for a while, but there's a lot of similarities in their philosophies, which was nice to see. And just the fact that both of them are just so flexible, I guess that's the nice word. And we're comparing examples, that we use in the classroom, and how it's so interesting how, you have to think of like newer ways to explain things to students. But it's just so neat to see these two opposite ends of, teaching careers just really coming together and just finding a lot of commonalities. I thought that was super neat. Thanks for sharing, you guys.
Okay, thank you, Christy. I would also say the same. I was pretty much in one room also with Jeff and Courtney, but kind of the same thing about similarities, that reading through some of your colleagues' philosophy kind of reaffirmed what you believe in also. So that was exciting to hear. if you did need a little bit more time on responding or commenting to your colleagues' philosophy, you can also do that or continue to do that asynchronously, which is perfectly okay. So, John, if you could go to the next part. Yeah. So we hope that going through the process has helped you to better understand parts 2 and 3 on this particular assignment. As I mentioned earlier, it's probably best to work on your part 2 now since it's still fresh in your mind. I mean, you have an option to not do that too, but it's just sometimes I like to do it right away because once I leave, I forget. But, you know, thinking about what they said to you about your philosophy, what they commented on, whether you agree or disagree. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the part 3 will come throughout the course and especially toward the end. Okay. Okay, one more, John, please. Thank you. So usually at the end of the course or the module, we try to do a next time, which is anything you might need for the next session, especially if you plan to attend it. But at this time, we don't have anything for a next time for module 2. So if you do plan to come, you just come and join us, nothing to prepare for ahead of time. But that would pretty much end our session. We try as much as possible to keep it on time because we know it is a Saturday and a lot of you have lots of things to do or you're ready for your next nap, which I'm right there with you. But if you have any other questions, yes, Evan, agree. If you have any other questions or things that are still lingering in your mind, feel free to stay online again and just keep in contact with your colleague that you network with and continue working on your portfolio documents. So thank you again for giving of your time and of your Saturday. And again, stay online. If not, have a great Saturday. Thank you.
Thanks, educators. Have a good Saturday.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Good weekend.
Bye, Justin.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Randy.
And sorry that this is gonna sound weird, but I think last week you guys were talking about like the reimbursement thingy. How do you do that?
Okay, that's a good question. It's not a weird one. It's really an important one too. So no worries. Towards the end or at the end of the course, after the portfolios have been submitted and everybody has passed the course, then they'll give you more information about how to get the reimbursement. So yes, it will come out. But you do need to complete the course and all the requirements. And yes, successful completion, then they will do the reimbursement. That's pending funding. We're still early in the game, so there probably still is funding available. We're pretty sure, but yeah, that would be the procedure. Good question, Randy. Thank you.
Very good question.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Hey, have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.